Good afternoon, classmates. Um, Today's argument or today's issue that we're going to be expressing is do video games more people make people more violent in real life? And that's the issue I'm going to be discussing today. And my side on that issue to that answer is actually no. I do not believe video games make people more violent in real life. And my ground, or pretty much my reason being behind that, is that a lot of times some of these violent video games for people they actually keep them from being violent in real life. It's a way to relieve stress. It's a way to keep yourself from actually doing real violent stuff in the real world. So that's my reason and ground behind this argument as well. You also have another argument I have is the issue with mass shootings. To go along with that, people say that reason behind mass shootings and school shooting is violent video games, and honestly, I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. There was a mass shooting here recently at a Madden tournament, and everybody loves football, everybody loves Madden, and I really don't believe there was a violent video game behind that. That there's been multiple school shootings where I believe in video games have nothing to do with violence in real life, and we can get into games like Grand Theft Auto, where the game is called GTA. It's called GTA, but the literal meaning is Grand Theft Auto, and it people relate to you taking people's cars and shooting people and looting for money. Does it make people more violent in real life? I honestly don't believe it does. And when it comes to this argument, you have people that'll play, devil's advocate, or they'll say things like it only makes sense that violent games will make people violent in real life. It's again, there's no credibility behind that. There's no ground or reason behind that argument. It's just a statement. Let's see. Trustworthiness is another thing that comes along with this. A lot of these violent games, you have to be, 18 or older to purchase, and it's one of those trustworthy things where if a parent is buying this game for one of her children, she has trust that it's not gonna make them violent in real life. It's just something they want to play because all their friends are playing it, and they just want to play with their friends. I don't think it has anything to do with somebody's mental health, things like that. Um, Halo effect. Um, One halo effect that can come out of this, the positive side of this argument, or people saying, no, it doesn't happen, is simply having people that play violent video games actually step up and make more comments on this themselves on whether or not playing these video games make them violent or make them actually want to do violent stuff to people. And when I bring up being violent in real life, I mean like actually doing stuff that they do in video games. Not getting mad and maybe throwing a controller or punching a hole in the wall. That's not real violence in real life. You're not harming anyone but yourself. When I mean violent, I mean harming other people as well. Let's see. Cultural factors. Are there cultural factors that play into this, whether it's race, ethnicity? I don't believe there is. Whoever puts himself behind a screen and behind a controller, they can be just the same as somebody else in another skin or behind a different screen or in another country. Race, ethnicity has nothing to do with this argument whatsoever. Gender. Let's take gender for example. Does violent video games make girls more violent? Does it make guys more violent? Honestly, in today's world, you have girls that play the same violent games that guys play, and I don't think that has a play in this argument whatsoever. Like I said, a lot of people play these games to play them with their friends, and ethnicity, culture has nothing to do with it. It's just most people have the same mindset behind playing a violent game. It's just doing violent stuff, whether you're killing people. It's all virtual. It's like I said, it's a stress relief. It's something to keep you from doing this in actual real life. And in closing, I just want to say that once again, I do not believe violent video games make people more violent in real life, and there could also be a lot more productive arguments out of this case as well. And thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. And please feel free to comment on whether you believe violent video games make people more violent in real life or not as well.